Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. I'm not going to do a lot of editing on this. I'm shooting it as if live. I was going to go live, but I've never gone live before, and so on YouTube it takes 24 hours and blah, blah, blah. I need some collaborative thinking. I have an opportunity to acquire my own space to teach Wing Chun. Or teach martial arts. Let me give you some background. I started teaching, as many of you know, probably all of you know, way back, early 2000s. 2000, actually 2000, 2001. I left the place where I was in 2016. Dan Bernardo of Well Within Martial Arts offered me his space to use when he wasn't using it. So that kind of controlled when I could have classes. I pay rent for that space, to use that space. Several years ago, I started thinking that, boy, wouldn't it be great if I had my own space so I could expand the number of hours for Wing Chun and maybe do some JKD, kickboxing kind of things, because quite frankly, that's what sells the most, is anything that's just kind of raw fitness oriented. It would be easier to draw big crowds doing things like JKD, kickboxing, and Muay Thai, stuff that just works up a sweat, very simplistic, not as structure oriented as Wing Chun. For several years, Dan and I have kind of lusted after a space that's literally adjacent to his. And oh man, it'd be cool if I could get that space. I could have my independent space where I could have more time to offer more classes, yet we would be right next door to each other so we could continue to be collaborative. Well, that space has become available, or is becoming available. To acquire it requires initial outlay, which I have, but as a person on a, technically now, continuing the backstory a little bit, 2 years ago I retired. Up until then I'd been working during the day as a carpet cleaner plus teaching Wing Chun. I retired, then shortly after retirement, a law firm, I used to be in a law office manager, a law firm pulled me in, and so I was doing that during the day and then teaching at night. That job has ended, and so now I'm pretty much living just on my retirement and teaching. And the teaching, I'm not living on it. I teach for the love of it. So it's not making me a lot of money. The student load comes and goes. And that's just always been the case. When I first moved into Dan's place, I had like 12 or 14 students. It dropped down to, there was a period of time there just around COVID where it was 0. It's gone up to 10. It's gone back down to 2. It's gone up to 12. It's come back down to, it just does that. That's just the way it is. That's the nature of the beast. Right now it's at a low point. It will pick back up. I feel sure of it. If I offered something like, well, one, if I had more days a week, greater availability, that would help it to pick up. If I offered something like JKD, kickboxing, maybe Muay Thai, I know I would get different people who are more interested in that kind of stuff, younger people. So there's that consideration. But as a individual who's technically retired on a fixed income, kind of letting go of one's nest egg, or part of the nest egg, the liquid part, in order to carry out a venture like this at my age, feels a bit spooky. And so that's why I need some collaborative thinking. We always are blinded by the wonderful, awesome possibilities, but then we have to consider all of the downside. I believe I have considered most of the downside. In terms of the raw rent of the place, I could afford that. Even if I only had one student, I could afford that for a couple of months on my limited income. It would be difficult, but bills could get paid. But are there other aspects of the downside that I'm not seeing? Are there other aspects of the bright side that I'm ignoring? So I need some give and take, back and forth. So tell me what you think. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. Again, this would allow, even from my existing students, I'd love to hear from you guys, because this would allow Wing Chun to go, instead of 2 nights and a Saturday, it would be at least 4, if not 5 nights a week and a Saturday. But that's another downside. Instead of working Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings, I'd be working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Putting out my videos would get a lot harder to do in some aspects. In some aspects, it might be easier to do because I could set up permanent cameras. So even my existing Wing Chun students, anybody else, if you are local to me and you think, oh yeah, that's exactly what chime in. I need some give and take, some feedback. So let me know, comment, text me, anything while I'm thinking this through. Hope you have a great day. Keep on training.